Picking out hop-ups for your new RC car is one of the best aspects of owning it, but what are some really good hop-ups to be looking at? And will they make that much of a difference? With the holiday season being here, we know there's a lot of first-time RCers out there right now who might be having some of these questions. So today we're gonna break it down. What are hop-ups? Are they worth it? And which ones should you be looking at for your new RC car? Hop-ups, upgrades, and accessories. These terms simply refer to parts that offer some enhancement to your RC that the original factory included part does not. An example of this could be something as simple as upgraded rubber tires that have a tread pattern that suits the surface you drive on a whole lot better than the tires that came included on your RC. But tires are only the beginning. In the world of RC, just like in the full-size one-to-one motorsport world, there are upgrades for just about every part imaginable. Upgrades typically fall under three categories. There's upgrades for performance, upgrades for durability, and then upgrades to enhance the looks or styling. Your performance upgrades are parts that are just gonna help you go faster, corner better, be more stable, perhaps jump better, or maybe even land from jumps better. Performance upgrades could also just be parts that are meant to reduce weight, which will then boost the efficiency of the power system and the drivetrain of the RC. Durability upgrades are pretty self-explanatory. They're just parts that are designed to break less frequently than the factory part. Maybe the part has been made bigger or beefier in some way. Maybe the part's just made out of a stronger material altogether. Or maybe that upgraded part just has a more durable design to it. Lastly, upgrade parts that enhance the looks or styling of the RC don't necessarily enhance performance or durability. They're just meant to kind of give you that look you're going for. Kind of like this RPM intake and blower set, it looks great mounted up on the hood of an RC car, but you wouldn't necessarily buy this thinking it's gonna actually make your car faster. It's just for looks. So there are a ton of upgrades or hop-ups out there. They're not all the same, but they do enhance some aspect of your RC. So which upgrades should you be looking at? Assuming you have the basic essentials of RC covered, like you're gonna want some decent hex tools, probably a 1.5, a 2, and a 2.5 millimeter hex driver, then you'll probably want some basic hardware for your model, like some commonly sized hex screws, maybe some wheel nuts, definitely some body clips. Then we want to be looking at upgrades that are going to give us the biggest improvement. Now, this isn't always the same for everyone, but most commonly, the number one thing that people want to improve on their RC is the speed. For this upgrade, purchasing a LiPo battery is one of the best and easiest and most convenient ways to get a bit more punch, acceleration, top speed, and runtime out of your RC. Most RTRs out there are compatible with LiPo batteries, but either don't include one or include a NIM battery instead, a nickel metal hydride. But because the LiPo battery performance gains are so drastic over that NIM nickel metal hydride battery, we recommend, if you're looking for more speed, make that LiPo battery the first upgrade. And there are a lot of different LiPos available from different brands in different sizes, in different power specs, in different connectors, so you should be able to easily find a battery to suit your applications. And when selecting a LiPo, the mAh rating is the capacity or the runtime. A bigger mAh rating is a longer runtime overall. And then the C rating on the battery is going to be that punch, that power rating. A higher C rating for your battery is gonna have more just punch, just aggressive, if that makes sense. Now, if you're a Traxxas owner, you need to stick with Traxxas batteries because of the Traxxas proprietary ID connector. Of course, you can change that connector if you're comfortable soldering on a new one to your Traxxas model, but keep in mind, changing that ID connector voids your Traxxas warranty. Oh, and this kind of goes without saying, but before buying an upgraded LiPo battery, make sure your model is compatible with one. One last safety note about LiPo batteries is that they require a LiPo-specific battery charger. If you have a NIM charger that was included maybe with your model, you cannot use that with the LiPo battery. Another really effective way to boost the speed in your model is to buy an upgraded brushless motor and ESC system. If your model has brushed electronics in it, a brushless system will just dramatically improve performance. If your model already has a brushless system in it, upgrading to a different one probably won't provide much enhanced speed. Upgrading to a brushless ESC and motor system is generally a little bit more expensive as well, so that's another good reason to upgrade to that LiPo battery first. The next biggest area of improvement for an RC is usually the handling performance, and that means tires. Tires are hands down one of the best ways to tune the performance of your RC. You can maximize the traction for your surface and just enhance the overall experience with your model. The goal is just to match the tires to the type of surface terrain that you're driving on. If you're driving on-road, you probably want some sort of slick on-road tire with a low-profile treaded pattern. If you're driving off-road, you probably want some tires that have like little knobbies on them to dig into the dirt. If you're in sand or snow, then you'll probably want some tires with paddles that can scoop through the terrain. Now, only you know best what type of terrain you'll be driving on, so it's up to you to pick the correct type of tread pattern to match your surface. The exception to this is if your goal is to achieve a particular look. So if that's the case, then maybe the performance of those tires isn't so important. And when choosing tires, you may have the option of different rubber compounds. There could be like a soft, a medium, a hard, and whatever naming convention that brand does, because they all do it a little different. So you may have to find out what those compounds mean. But just keep in mind that the softer rubber compounds are generally going to be softer, so potentially can gain more traction, and soft rubber tires are more ideal in cold weather temperatures. Hard rubber compounds, they tend to last longer, they don't wear out as fast, but they're tires that are more ideal for hot weather conditions. Hard rubber compound tires do not work very well in cold weather conditions. So really, when you upgrade your tires, you not only want to be looking at finding the correct tread pattern for your particular surface, but you want to ensure that you're picking a rubber compound that's ideal for the temperatures of your particular climate. So there's a little bit of trial and error with tires. For durability upgrade parts, the most common areas to upgrade on your RC is going to be the front end, the front suspension parts, because when you crash into something, it's the front end that impacts first. Now, RPM is a company that's been making those parts for most popular RCs out there, and these parts are made out of a special flexible kind of like plastic or nylon, and they work really well at absorbing the impact energy when you crash. They've got a little bit of flex to them. These RPM parts are really popular, and for good reason. They're just really hard to break, and RPM offers those suspension parts as well as all the other parts they have in a few different colors, so you can be enhancing the looks of your RC as well as the durability. Another great item to improve durability on your RC are going to be those rear drive shafts, or if you have a four-wheel drive model, it's going to be the front and rear drive shafts. Over the course of normal use, just the wear and tear on those drive shafts tends to break them down, especially if you have a really fast power system in your car. A good remedy to get away from those RTR drive shafts are the MIP steel drive shafts. These drive shafts are available for most popular RCs out there. They're really heavy duty and they're rebuildable. So when only a certain area of the drive shaft starts to wear out, you can buy that particular part, reassemble the drive shafts, and then you've got some freshies. One area for improvement that is often overlooked is the steering servo, which is just the little electrical device that steers your front tires. Now, all RTR cars will include a servo of some type. They tend to be kind of like starting servos. As you can imagine, there are some really fast and powerful servo options out there, and the faster and more powerful they get, the more expensive they become as well. There are a lot of servos out there to choose from. You can go shop around. We recommend just swapping in an EcoPower WP120T servo. It's fast, it's powerful, it's waterproof, and it just gets the job done. This upgrade is generally more important for off-road cars that use bigger tires, so that weight tends to slow down the servo, but for on-road cars, an upgraded servo can also be really beneficial, as it'll just provide more speed to the front tires. We generally wait for that RTR servo to burn out, and then we'll put an upgraded WP120T in there. You can also just be proactive and do it before it fails on you, which is a good idea sometimes. So this would usually be the order that we would be recommending upgrades to somebody, but it really comes down to what your particular needs are. Like, what car do you have, in what ways does it need to improve, and how are you using the car, and what application? When I picked up an RTR drift car a while back, the very first thing that I did to it is I put carpet-specific drift tires on it, because that's the surface I'd be driving on here inside AMain. The next thing I did was I bought these little weights. They're just sticky weights, so I could alter the weight bias of the chassis, and it dramatically changed the performance of the car. Very small upgrade. And then I picked up that WP120T servo when the RTR servo failed. And beyond that, the car is great. I really don't need any other upgrades in terms of durability or performance. The last upgrades I would do to this car are just enhancements to its looks to make it look more scale realistic. Something as simple as adding some LEDs into your RC body can really make it pop. My recommendation, make sure that you get your parts to cover your performance needs and your durability needs first before you move on to the looks, because you can't drive a broken car. I hope this video has helped you wade through the sea of option parts, hop-ups, and accessories. If you have any questions, please leave that for us down below, and if you'd like more info, check out the links we've got down below as well. And please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe for our future videos. I'm Brett with AMain Hobbies. Thanks for watching.